When you think about mining, what comes to mind? Probably picks, shovels, maybe some dynamite, right? A lot of brute force and, well, a lot of guesswork. Well, that's all changing. And I mean, completely changing. Today, we're going to dive into how some seriously cutting-edge tech, I'm talking satellites in orbit, artificial intelligence, is totally transforming one of the world's oldest industries. Okay, let's just kick things off with one stat that might just blow your mind. By 2025, and that's right around the corner, over 70% of new mineral exploration projects will be using AI-driven remote sensing. Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't some far-off future prediction. It's happening right now. It tells you that this high-tech shift isn't just some small trend, it's a tidal wave, and it's fundamentally changing how we find the very resources that build our modern world.
So, what does this new era of exploration actually look like? Well, we're calling it a digital gold rush. And that's because the hunt for precious minerals isn't just happening in the ground anymore. It's happening inside massive, massive datasets.
I mean, seriously, the age of picks and shovels is literally giving way to pixels and algorithms. Think about the old way of doing things. Finding mineral deposits was this grueling boots-on-the-ground kind of job. You'd have geologists spending months, sometimes even years, out in the middle of nowhere, taking physical samples, drilling test cores. And a lot of the time, they'd come up with absolutely nothing. It was slow, incredibly expensive, and yeah, it left a pretty big environmental footprint.
In this comparison, wow, it really nails the revolution, doesn't it? We're shifting from what was basically a game of chance to a science of precision. The old way, super labor-intensive, often just a big guessing game. The new way, it's all about the data, powered by AI. And what this does is let companies target their efforts with, like, pinpoint accuracy. That saves a ton of time, a ton of money, and, this is a big one, it dramatically cuts down on the environmental impact of exploration.
Okay, so how is this even possible? How can you find minerals from space? Well, the secret lies in some amazing technologies that let us see things that are completely invisible to the human eye, often from hundreds of miles up.
The key piece of tech here is called hyperspectral imaging. Now, don't let the name scare you. Just think of it like a super-powered camera on a satellite or a drone. Instead of just seeing red, green, and blue like our eyes do, it captures data across hundreds of different bands of light. Here's the cool part. Every single mineral reflects light in its own unique way, creating a distinct spectral fingerprint. And this technology can read those fingerprints right from the sky. It's wild.
But there's always a but, right? Here's the catch. A single one of these hyperspectral surveys can generate terabytes of super complex data. It's like trying to find one specific person's signature in a library filled with millions and millions of books. A human just can't do it, not alone. And that's where the next big game changer comes into play. And here's the solution. The whole process is actually pretty elegant and incredibly powerful. First up, you have satellites and drones that fly over and just grab all that data. Then, you unleash the AI. These machine learning algorithms sift through terabytes of noise, hunting for those specific spectral fingerprints of the valuable minerals. And the result? A high-probability map that tells geologists exactly where to focus their efforts. It basically turns a needle in a haystack problem into a treasure.
All right, so that's the theory. That's the cool tech. But where is this actually making a real-world economic impact? For that, we're going to head to Egypt, a country with, ancient roots in mining that's now leading a totally modern revolution.
Yeah, Egypt is going all in on this technological shift. They've launched this really ambitious national strategy to modernize their entire mining sector. The idea is to use these new tools to unlock their vast mineral wealth and, of course, attract billions in global investment.
And this number here, 5%, that's the big goal. By 2030, Egypt wants its mining sector to contribute a full 5% of the nation's GDP. Now, to give you some perspective on that, just a few years ago, it was barely scratching 1%. So this isn't just about digging more stuff out of the ground, it's a massive strategic push to diversify their entire economy.
And this timeline shows that it's not just wishful thinking. They have a detailed plan. It really kicked off back in 2019 with a new mining law designed to bring in investment. And you can see the steady progress, right? The contribution is already on the rise. A huge milestone just happened in 2024 when they awarded 82 new gold exploration blocks in a massive global tender. It just goes to show they are dead serious about hitting that 5% target.
Okay, a national strategy is one thing, but you gotta ask, is the money following? Is this real? So let's look at the hard data and see how the market is actually responding to Egypt's big plan.
And here are the numbers. The market for mining equipment in Egypt, it's set to absolutely explode. We're talking projected growth of nearly $100 million in just 5 years. That's a compound annual growth rate of over 9%. This isn't just talk. It shows that real investment is happening on the ground to build the mines of tomorrow.
So if you look at the mining fleet today, it's overwhelmingly traditional. Over 82% of it runs on old-school internal combustion engines. You could say this represents the old guard. But the real story, and where the big investment opportunity lies, is in what's coming next.
And this is the number that just screams future. While the overall market is growing at a healthy 9%, the specific segment for battery electric vehicles is projected to grow at a staggering, get this, 18.96% annually. It just makes sense, right? In a country with tons of sunshine that's perfect for on-site solar power, the economic case for going electric is a total no-brainer.
So the picture is becoming pretty clear. You've got these powerful drivers, like the government's strategic push and all the new licensing laws, that are just fueling this boom. Of course, it's not a perfectly smooth road. There are challenges, right? Currency volatility, logistical hurdles, they're still there. But the key takeaway here is that the forces driving this market forward are just far outweighing the things holding it back. The momentum is incredibly strong.
So where's all this heading? We've looked at the technology, we've looked at the market forces. Now let's pull it all together and get a really clear picture of what the mines of tomorrow will actually look and feel like.
The future of mining. It's intelligent, it's automated, with driverless trucks working around the clock, 24/7. It's electric, powered by clean, renewable energy. It's incredibly efficient, with AI optimizing every single step, from discovery all the way to extraction. And maybe most importantly, it's more sustainable. Because when you know exactly where to look, you disturb far, far less of the earth to find what you need.
You know, when you step back, we've basically entered an era where technology is giving us unprecedented access to the very building blocks of our civilization. Pixels from a satellite can now lead directly to pay dirt. And that leaves us with a really profound question. As we get better and faster at finding all these resources, how will we get smarter about managing them, about using them wisely? That challenge, well, that's going to require just as much human innovation as the tech that got us here in the first place. Something to think about.